my goodness. Okay. I have to do that again. What's good, y'all? What's up? How y'all doing? It is your favorite straight. Oh. Does my hair even look good? It's a wig. I don't care. I'm a student. Who cares?
Nope. That's right.
What's good, y'all? What's up? How y'all doing? It is your favorite frustrated creative show, signing in for another video. I don't even know what to say. Okay, I know I've been away. 2022? 2021, whirlwind. But we'll get into it. How y'all doing? What is up? I don't even know where to start or to begin. But let's talk about why I've been away, okay? Let's get into that. So, as you guys may know, I'm a student, a working student at that, living on her own now, having to make this money and be consistent in like my craft and what I love doing and everything is difficult, very difficult. I remember, I think it was like towards the end of 2021, 2022, or even mid 2022, the conversation of like content creators feeling burnt out and everything with constantly having to put in hours day in, day out, more than a person who typically does a 9 to 5 was a huge conversation. And it was now 9 to 5 versus like being an entrepreneur. And yes, I will say, like, yeah, being a 9 to 5 worker may seem easier and everything like that, but it also comes with this workload. And I'm not here to compare the two, because to be honest, both of them can be draining, but I rather have that than be a full-time content creator. I believe the best mix in life is to have a 9 to 5 and to be a entrepreneur on the side, have a little side hustle. I do not think you should just solely do one or the other, all right? And for me, I was still trying to adapt to the whole school, work, and content creating. And on top of that, with having exams and like trying to balance social life was like difficult for me. And I didn't know how to do that. And I had other like priorities in my life that was taking my time essentially. And I didn't know how to like deal with that because I had to be pulled like in many different directions. And it was super new for me and everything. So I just got to a point where like mentally I couldn't be in a space to make content. I couldn't push myself the way I usually do to make content. And when I first like was getting into the whole like content creating and really being full force within everything like that, I was in a really good mental space. But then I burnt out and I just wasn't making content like that. And I wasn't making content that was inspiring me to continue to make content. So I just was like, why am I still doing this, right? And my focus at that time was just like, I'm trying to hit all these bullet points. I'm trying to get all these goals and everything. It was no longer, I'm just making content because I enjoy what I do. Like, I'm trying to make money from this, or I'm trying to, get to like this amount of subscribers and this amount of likes and everything. It just stopped being fun for me to a certain degree. And I just needed to take a step back and really like refocus on why I'm making content, why I'm doing what I'm doing. I have to make sure that what I'm doing is authentic to me. I talk about all these topics and it's great or whatever, but I don't want now people to think of me as this specific kind of way, because I'm really not. If I'm going to be so honest with you, this is probably going to be my most raw video I've ever made, because it's not going to be like so many cited references or whatever to back up how I feel. There's not going to be a whole bunch of pictures, a whole bunch of like stuff that I'm putting in. I'm literally just giving you me. Shola. That's it. I'm not here to like pose as being somebody else. And when you get to a certain point in content creating where like people start to recognize you for your work, at times you have imposter syndrome. Like, is this really me? Like no, like I'm not a social justice warrior. I'm not this journalist. I'm not a person who like does all these things for like titles or whatever. I just enjoy discovering new topics and talking about them. Like, that's literally it. And I would love to make this a career one day where it's like I actually get to interview people and like have whole docuseries, and like I would love to do all of that. But I don't want to lose myself in my arts. And another thing I want to touch on is mental health. Because as a content creator, a lot of your like content creations come from here and come from here, right here. This is where my heart is, but I think it'll be here to y'all. Anyways, but I think it really ties into the two. If your mental health is not good, your content creations or whatever you're creating in general will come from a really like strenuous place for you. And then eventually you're going to detest making content. Like I applaud people who are able to like make music and create art through their pain and through their sorrow. But if you talk to those artists, they will tell you that they weren't in a good place then. That that art is coming from one of the most like saddest discarded parts of themselves and they put it into their art and they don't even like remembering it or talking about it because they were at their lowest of lows. I don't want to be like that with my content. I want to be able to be my authentic self, the healthiest I can be in order for people to enjoy what I do. You know, at specific points of my content creating, I wasn't being like the most emotionally healthy to myself, spiritually healthy to myself, like just mentally just on a good playing field. And I was scared that if I continued to do that, it would mess up the way that I see my content, mess up the way I see myself and everything. And I had to remove myself from certain situations that were causing that for me. You know, like when you are in either in school situations, friendship situations, romantic relationship situations, or just like spiritual situations that are weighing down on you, it could possibly mess up the way that you view life. And the way that you view life as a content creator is the way you go about showcasing stuff to other people. Let's be totally honest. I'm doing things from my lens and I'm presenting it to y'all, right? So if I'm coming from a negative, sad, like strenuous, stressful place, I'm presenting that to y'all. I can fake it all I want for however long, but eventually you'll start to see the cracks in my content. And I don't want to be hyper analyzed in the future that this looks like that and that looks like, I don't want that. I want it to come from a pure place, you know? I hope we understand each other. But yeah, I really think that me staying away and not making content was probably the best decision, even though there was so many ideas and so many things I wanted to do. Like, yes, there's like things I want to do in the future now that I'm super excited for, but I'm happy that like I didn't go ahead and push myself too much when it came to making content on YouTube or whatever social media platform. As much as I had friends who were like, oh yeah, like what happened to your videos, or Shola, where were you, and da da da, I have to be honest with you, like, I did not want to really see myself in front of a camera and then have it for everybody to digest and everybody to pick apart. Like, that's already something I have to deal with as a person who makes videos, right? But when you're not in a space where like you are able to handle it, it can either make or break you. And from the way I'm looking at it, it could have broken me a real bad. Like, we don't want it. So it was very much good that I took that space for myself to handle myself and figure out what I wanted to do and then come back to y'all and be like, hey, this is what's up. Because I'm not going to be that content creator, that person who makes videos, and I'm going to come and cry to you guys on a screen. Unless I've made some really big achievement that I've been really excited for and working really hard for, that's the only time you're going to see me cry. You're not going to see me cry out of sadness on here. Very much no. Because I feel like I can go ahead and express myself to you guys and everything and talk about like the things I'm struggling with without having to be that emotionally vulnerable. I feel like if you're that emotionally vulnerable and everything, you need to take care of that outside of a camera, outside of like everybody's like viewpoint of you. You need to take care of that offline. You know, I'm not judging anybody who's gone on camera and gone ahead to cry and be vulnerable. Like, kudos to you. If you find strength in that, that's fine. But I don't find strength in that. Like, if I'm going to cry to myself and I'm going to do a little diary of it, that's going to be for me. That's not for everybody else to know. You know what I mean? So really just refocusing myself and just seeing myself the way I would love to see myself and then coming to y'all is like very important to me. Very, very, very important to me. And how do I put this? There are certain things that have changed my idea on how I want to go ahead and make content, how I want to go ahead and convey my thoughts and my views. If you are a commentator on YouTube, there's a specific format that everyone like goes ahead to give their content. They always gotta justify their content. They have to justify their reasoning and thought process with a whole bunch of cited sources every single time. Like, they can't just come up with their own opinion and their own life experiences and the life experiences of others to justify their thoughts. It has to be from some professor in 1960 something talking about some, like, no, pause. Like, as much as I value like research and I value like cited information and everything, my life experiences should be justifiable. Yeah? Like, the way I think and the way others have been living their lives should be a tangible enough reason for people to understand where I'm coming from and for it to be credible. I know that might like rattle some people because it's like, oh, like, how are you supposed to just go off of hearsay? How are you supposed to just go off of people's like opinions and stuff like that to justify certain theories or things that we think about or we see in society? I just think that I don't always have to show myself as being an educated person just by using articles. Like, I should properly articulate myself and different theories and ideologies without having to bring a second party to justify my reasoning. Like, I hope that makes sense? Yeah. So if I ever in the future decide to like talk about bigger topics, like, I'm gonna be relying more on like how other people in society like see things, how other people like digest content and how they interpret it and how it influences them in their like life. I'm not just gonna be going to some article to justify my reasons. Yeah, we're understanding each other. Okay, cool. I want to be able to do different things that like make me stand out as a content creator, because I feel like I have a lot of ideas, but like I feel like maybe now's not the right time. I don't have enough resources. I don't have enough this. I don't have enough that. Like, I feel like to a certain degree that played a part in me stopping my content, because people had fancy cameras and like had all this money to go buy backdrops and like had time to travel out and fly and vlog and do this and that I felt like I wasn't enough. I wasn't good enough. Even though I was making numbers on here using literally my iPhone 7 Plus to record and just using apps that I found to edit stuff and put it up, but I still felt like I wasn't enough. And I just want to get into that space where it's like I'm more than enough. I can still do what I'm doing and still hit high numbers. I can still do what I'm doing and find a community. I've already found a community that loves like my content and enjoys who I am as a person, not just like regurgitating information every 2 seconds in order for me to validate myself as a commentator on here. You know what I mean? Like, my personality alone feeds content. Period. Like, ain't nobody got to stutter about it. We already know it, So that's how I feel about it. Now, I totally understand that in the age that we're in, people want to be ingesting content like nobody's business and be able to like be informed about a lot of things, right? But Google's free. Google is free, Like, there's so many content creators out here who make infographics and who talk about topics and who talk about injustice and who talk about how to be a proper ally and who talk about like racial issues and talk about like capitalism and everything like that and race relations, who do that just fine. But I feel like in order for Black content creators to be verified or justified on any platform, they have to talk about race. They gotta talk about injustice. They gotta talk about social activism, keyword, trigger word, buzzword topics every single time. No. I, as a Black person, as a female, as a Black woman, don't need to be a walking infographic for everybody. I don't need to be a walking infographic for everybody. I don't need to be a person constantly regurgitating information about race and injustice in society. Please, it is not my job. It is not my job. Not at all. If you think that I'm going to be coming back to this platform to be talking about more like race related stuff or be talking about injustice every single time, be so for real. Be so for real. I'm really happy to come back to the platform and really just have fun with playing around with content and conveying myself the best way I can. I'm in a season where it's just me, myself, and I. Very much so. Me, myself, and I. And I want to be able to enjoy that because I haven't had that in a long time. A long time. And I'm excited and I'm happy and I'm nervous, but I'm hopeful. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So, new year, new me, I guess, for 2022. Sorry, 2023. But let me know what some of your thoughts, how you guys feeling about the new year. What certain things that you've learned about yourself last year that you've taken into this year and you're really just on yourself for, I'm trying to be consistent this year and disciplined. That's the goal. That's the goal. But yeah, don't be expecting videos every single week, by the way. Like I'm still a working student. We'll try to push for 2 to 4 uploads a month. Yeah? Yeah. Okay. But at least every Friday. Every Friday will be the post. Even if it's every 2 to 3 times a month, if that makes any sense. But yeah. Alright, y'all. It is your favorite frustrated creative, Sholay, signing out of this video. And remember, God made you special and He loves you very much. And you can do anything. Anything you set your mind to. Alright, y'all. Peace.
You know what I'm talking about? Bring it back.